and welcome to 1923 Main Street, where pavement, powder, and perfect swells combine with travel style every week. I'm your host, Mike Belobradic, and today, layering for extreme cold. Yes, let's talk about how to stay warm without losing style points. I mean, if you're a rider, probably you're just about to get started snowboarding this season. Some of you, I know, already are. We just had our first local runs open up nearby, so we know the extreme cold days are on the way. We know we love layering. It's a good tactic to have, but staying warm doesn't mean you have to bulk up like a balloon. So there is a layering strategy, and let's run through that today. The 3-layer system, your blueprint to staying warm on the hill and looking good while you do it. Let's dive in. Layer 1, your base layer. This, let's call it your moisture manager. This is the layer that sits right up against your skin, and it's the foundation of staying warm on those extreme cold days. So what to look for? You want synthetic fabric blends, even something like a bamboo. You want to try to avoid 100% cotton things. You want moisture wicking to keep the sweat off your skin as you get hotter under there. And a slimmer fit is best because that will help as each layer builds out. Makes sense, right? And also, if you're going on a trip, especially with other people, maybe you want to look for something that has a little odor control in the fabric, or at least give it a rinse in the sink. And a pro tip, if the morning is brutally cold, you can double up on that first layer. A thin synthetic layer base, under a lightweight piece. That'll give you extra warmth without the bulk for those extreme cold days. Our next up, we have the mid layer, of course. This is your heat holder. So your mid layer will trap the body heat and keep you insulated. So, this is sort of like a window, the 3-pane window. This is where you can get customizable depending on the conditions. You want to look ahead not just for the extreme cold of the morning, but what's the rest of the day going to be like? And that can have an impact on what you choose, especially for the middle layer. So the best mid-layer options for extreme cold are fleece or mid-weight hoodies. They're great for their warmth to weight ratio. Again, not too bulky. Synthetic insulated second layer jackets. This is something that I tend to do. It's sort of like a jacket, but it's not a jacket. It's almost like a windbreaker type thing, but a little bit technical. Or even super light puffy jackets. They're good for super frigid mornings, but again, you want to consider that they're not too puffy. And if you're a flannel person, and we know you're out there, riding flannels are great for the mid-layer as well. They're warm, stylish, and they're perfect for park riders. Another good rider strategy is if the sun comes out, and hopefully it will on those days, it often does on the extreme cold days, and things start to warm up, your mid-layer is usually the first one you're going to take off. Put it in your locker, in your pack, wherever you're keeping your stuff for the day. So keep that in mind as well. Finally, we're looking at the outer layer. Now, this is your external shield against the elements. This is what's going to hit the snow if you go down. This is what's going to take the wind and so on. So it protects you from wind, snow, ice, and everything that's coming your way. Snowballs from friends, whatever it is. It's also acting as your, outward-facing style on the mountain. And we know your fit matters, so you want to bear that in mind as well, as if you don't. So on this layer, what really matters most, a little bit different from the others, is waterproofing. So a 15,000 plus is recommended if it's going to be a stormy day. Breathability is key here, so you don't overheat. Usually there's zippers for easy ventilation, so consider those. And you want to leave enough room to layer, again, without looking too bulky. So you hear the theme going on here for layering is you got 3 layers at least, maybe 4 if you're doubling up the first one. You always want to consider how these are going to stack, not only for style if you take one off, but also for bulk factor. Unless you're just learning it's your first day and you actually want a lot of bulk because, you're going to go down. All right, some extra cold weather power-ups that you can think of as well include neck gaiters, balaclavas, whatever you want to call them. Windburn is no joke. If it is a extreme cold and windy day, man, oh man, we all know what those lifts are like. If you're not at a gondola resort, you are going to be cold, and please don't have the lift stop. Good part is that there may be less people on the hills on those days, so, there's that. There's heated socks or insoles. If you're one of those feet get numb people, and it ruins your day, try these heated options. They'll keep the blood flowing and your comfort a little bit higher. Not everyone gets cold feet. I don't personally, but I do know people who do. So try some things out. You don't want it, though, to affect the functionality and feel of your boot against the board. Same thing for hand warmers and even toe warmers in the boots. Check them out, but try them on first before you get out on the hill to make sure it feels good. Walk around a bit. And finally, a couple of pro-level tips I want to throw in here. I mentioned one earlier, but a good way always to look at it is dress for the lift, not for the run. Dress for the worst case scenario, being stuck on that lift. I think we've all had that extreme cold feeling on an exposed lift chair somewhere. So you cool down really fast on a windy chair lift. So layer for that moment. Also key is to keep your core warm and your hands and feet will follow. A lot of people focus on the hands and feet, but really, if you add an extra mid layer rather than doubling up your socks, let's say, that will go a long way. Also, I mentioned cotton earlier. The reason we want to avoid 100% cotton on the first layer is that it can freeze really fast and it holds moisture, so that can be uncomfortable if that happens to you. Open vents before you get hot, not when you get hot. If you feel yourself warming up, open them then so that you can get some breathability going. That'll go a long way as well. And you may want to pack a backup mid layer in case the conditions shift one way or another. You'll be ready. So style without the bulk. You'll look good while you're layering. Choose mid layers that look good on their own, like hoodies or riding flannels and things like that. And you should be all set to go for the day. All right, everyone. Thanks as always for listening. I hope that helped with your layer strategy. I hope everybody's getting out there. We are as well. Visit the shop at 1923mainstreet.com. Visit us on social at 1923 Main Street. We will see you again next week. And as always, roam freely and ride boldly.